Hello my beautiful little unicorns and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that I've been given the pleasure to welcome you onto my channel, I'm Vanessa and I and welcome to the fam. So you guys, today I have a really cool reading prepared for you. I have prepared your zodiac signs full moon prediction for October 13th. We are going to be experiencing the full moon in Aries, which is going to bring lots of opportunities, but also a little bit of crisis. You guys, do not worry because you have tuned into this reading for a reason. You're here because I have a ton of value for you that will not only help you for the full moon, but also for the 2 weeks after the full moon. Because the energy sort of lasts for roughly about 2 weeks until there is a new moon, so up until the 27th of October. So I have my zodiac sign cards prepared right here, so I will just be pulling each sign off of this pile. The timestamps will be down below, so you can just click your corresponding timestamp for your sign to fast forward to your reading. You may want to watch your rising sign, your ascendant sign, whatever it is that you feel will give you value. Those are the readings that I want you to tune into, because sometimes we need a little more guidance than other times. So before I get into the individual readings for each sign, I just want to let you guys know what is going on as a whole during this full moon on October 13th. So the full moon on October 13th of 2019 comes with its challenges because of its square aspect to Pluto. Overall, there is more opportunity than there is crises and challenges. In full moon trine Jupiter, there is a lot of optimism, a lot of openness, and just a lot of situations where you're able to rekindle relationships and work on things that may have been bugging you for a very long time. So while emotions do run high and may become difficult to control, there is a lot of opportunity for you to make amends, as well as for you to resolve problems once and for all. So the full moon square Pluto is creating challenges, whereas the full moon trine Jupiter is creating opportunity for us. So that is just a general gist of the upcoming full moon. However, I want to get into the readings because I like a very personalized approach. So I will be pulling cards very intuitively and letting you know what I see coming up for you during the full moon. Okay, so first off, we have the Geminis of this world. So I want you to know that for you, my dear Geminis, it may be a challenging time because you like to see things from all viewpoints, and sometimes things can be difficult to comprehend. And by that, I mean things that are happening in your life to you with other people, and that can sometimes confuse you. But let's move into your reading to figure out exactly what is happening during the full moon. So first and foremost, we have the Beaver Spirit. So one thing that I want you to know about the Beaver Spirit, my dear Geminis, is the fact that you need to lay a solid foundation. One thing that I feel like you can really do during this full moon is kind of pour a new foundation, if you will. So take this time to truly look into how you can make the most out of things, how you can truly allow things to grow, to flourish, and how you can build new foundations within your relationship as well as in your work life. Maybe you need to build new foundations when it comes to your thought process. Maybe subconsciously you seem to self-sabotage a little bit, as you know, we do have situations here in this full moon that can be challenging on your relationship. So if you feel like your relationship needs a revamp and a new foundation, make sure to start bringing out your work gear to build a solid and new foundation. The next up, we have the Butterfly Spirit. So in the Butterfly Spirit, I want you to realize that transformation is something that you should cherish. So there will be change happening, and change is something natural, change is something inevitable. But change can sometimes scare us, it can sometimes make us feel overwhelmed, and sometimes we just feel like we're not quite ready for change. And when you feel like you're not quite ready for change, change is something uncomfortable. It's something that makes you feel uneasy and that you definitely do not want more of in your life. But I just want to point out that change is what is going to get you to where you're trying to go. If things would remain the same, then you would be in this position for the rest of your life. And I know that you want more for yourself. There's a reason why you're here, tuned into my reading, and that is one thing that I feel like I need to let you know. Then in the Hummingbird Spirit, you have to be here, you have to be in the moment. One thing that I feel with you is just the fact that being mindful is maybe something that you've let slip, and maybe something that you haven't been properly participating in recently. So being mindful is just a practice where you allow yourself to be in the here, you allow allow yourself to be in the now, and you just sort of shut everything around you off. You're not thinking about things in the past, you know, maybe mistakes that you've made in the past, because they're past. There's nothing you can do about them. But you're also not worrying or stressing about the future, because at the end of the day, there's not much you can do about the future apart from work now, be present now. Because if you're just worrying about the future now, then nothing happens in the now. You know what I mean? But let's move further into it. Then we have the dove spirit. You have to be a bit at peace. I see that the full moon is going to bring a lot of uneasiness for you, and it's going to bring you to a spot emotionally where you're maybe sort of shook, where you're maybe not at your most peaceful, where you're not at a place where you feel relaxed. So in the hummingbird spirit as well as the dove spirit, I just want you to know that meditation, grounding exercises, breathing exercises, also journaling, that is something that you will greatly benefit from during this full moon phase. So let's move further into your reading. We have gentleness. I see that being kind to yourself is something that I want you to keep at the center of this full moon. I want you to be understanding. I want you to know that spreading words of love, spreading just love feelings is something that will give you the best possible time during this full moon, and will allow you to rekindle any relationships that may be rocky or maybe at a point where you feel like they're struggling right now. Then we have friendship. So focus on your friends, especially focus on the people who are truly your soul tribe, your soul family. So the ones who you feel you really bond with, who truly get you, those are the people that I want you to spend time with during this full moon and in the 2 weeks after the 13th. Also, surround yourself with positive people. Maybe you haven't been doing that so much recently, and allow yourself to know that not everybody is as real and as honest as you are. So in discernment, I want you to keep things a secret. I see that on the 13th, on this full moon sort of cycle, there is a possibility for embarrassment, sort of public humiliation. So basically somebody maybe blurting out something that they shouldn't blurt out about you, or saying something about you that is not really nice, or that is sort of exposing you. So don't take that to heart, and allow yourself to know that not everybody is who they make themselves out to be. That in cycles, I see here that you just need to remember that everything has its right time. Do not stress out. Do not try and force anything or make anything happen prematurely. Give yourself the time you need to ground yourself and to be okay with the transformation that is happening. You know, things always happen in cycles within our bodies, and the moon controls these cycles. So allow the moon to do its work, allow the moon to do its job uninterrupted, and just stay at peace while that is at the works. Then last but not least, we have possibilities. So as I already mentioned in the intro, this full moon comes with a lot of opportunity as well as possibilities. And one thing that I see here particularly is that you have to elevate your expectations. So there is sort of a danger here to talk to yourself in a way that is not nice. But I want you to just put that aside. I want you to make sure that you're raising your expectations for yourself, that you're talking kindly to yourself, and that you're hyping yourself up for the future. So, my dear Geminis, that is a reading that I received for you for this upcoming full moon. I truly hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know down in the comment section. And if this was the first time on my channel, make sure to subscribe. Okay, so next up we have the Cancer. So hello all my fellow Cancerians. Welcome to your reading about the upcoming full moon. I want you to know that you're somebody who is very attached to family. You're very protective over your family. So this may be a challenging time if there's any sort of conflict within your family and the people who are closest to you. You're sensitive, kind, loving, caring, but if people rub you the wrong way, then they've rubbed you the wrong way, if you know what I mean. So first up, we have the Wombat spirit. I want you to literally be at home. I want you to literally spend time in your home on this Sunday of, this full moon. I see that it would be safest for you to do so, and there's a lot that you can accomplish within your home. This leads me to feel like if you maybe step outside, maybe you run the risk of speaking to somebody in a way that you shouldn't speak to them. As I said, this full moon is kind of a full moon where there may be emotions, tension running high. high. So it's best to just keep yourself a little bit away from the world on that day, just to nurture yourself, take care of yourself, and not run the risk of arguing with anybody or getting in any sort of altercation. Next up, we have the Rhino spirit. So there are obstacles here for you. There is obstacles that you can overcome, though. That is one thing that the Rhino spirit stands for. The Rhino is a very strong, very grounded, earthy animal. So embrace that energy and embrace the energy of being a strong, proud, tall standing human being. So as a Cancerian, I want you to know that a lot of obstacles are oftentimes in your head, and they can make you very emotional, especially when those obstacles have to do with self-doubt. So I see in polarity that on one spectrum, on one end of the spectrum, you are very confident. You know who you are, you know what you want to accomplish. But then on the other end of the spectrum, you can be very critical of yourself. You can be very indecisive, and also sometimes talk to yourself in a way that you would not talk to other people. I want you to correct that error, so to say. I want you to take time this coming Sunday. I want you to take time the 2 weeks after the full moon, because that is where this energy is still present, to truly nurture yourself, to truly make sure that you have polarity in your life, but not polarity when it comes to whether you reinforce yourself in your strengths and your worth. That is not a place where you need polarity, if you know what I mean. You just need to be loving, endlessly loving, unconditionally loving. Then we have the Vulture spirit. I want you to know that nothing is going to be wasted, and by that I mean none of your efforts are going to be wasted. So if you've put in a lot of effort into helping a friend, a family member, and you feel like they're not really appreciative of it, or they don't understand how much has gone into this, do not sweat it. I want you to know that karma is this thing that allows you to just keep in mind that, hey, I've done good, so good is going to come back to me. Allow that to be the rule that you follow. As well as any scarab beetle spirit, just allow the magic to work through you. I want you to know that magic is not something that you have to seek outside. Magic is something that works through you, and you can allow that to happen by meditating, by finding clarity, by journaling, by figuring out what your fears are, why you're, for instance, procrastinating, and working on that core issue, okay? And being at home is a place where you can do that. If you're constantly out and about doing things, you will not find the peace, the time, the tranquility to work on yourself. Then in prosperity, I want you to know that this full moon is going to be a prosperous time for you. It's a time where there's a lot of sort of chance for more money, where your income may be increasing, as well as you being able to finally manage your finances. So if there's something that you've been putting off within your finances, now's the time to do it. The full moon is a time where you will feel confident to finally, look into your tax issues, or finally look into what is really going on with your account. What is being put on your credit card every month that you've maybe forgotten about, but you're scared to check. You know what I'm saying? So look into that. Then we have expansion. So I see that what you need to do is expand. As a Cancerian, it can sometimes be difficult to expand beyond your little shell, because you're a crab, you feel comfortable in your home, and going out of it can be scary. But I want you to know that you have a message to share. I see that there's something that is of value within you that would be great for you to share with the world. So allow yourself to show the world what you're made of, to expand your reach, and to not feel embarrassed about the things that you want to do. If you want to write a book and publish it, I want you to know that the most difficult step is putting yourself out there oftentimes. So don't allow that to be what is keeping you from actually having these achievements in your portfolio. Make sure that you go out there, expand your reach, and make those achievements a part of your life story. So all of my dear Cancerians, I hope that you liked your reading. I hope that you found it insightful. If you did, let me know down in the comment section, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Okay, so next up we have the Pisces. So hello, all of my beautiful little Pisces souls. You guys are so caring and nurturing and endlessly loving. It's just awesome. And that is one thing that I just wanted to let you know at the beginning of your reading. So first up, we have the Otter Spirit. One thing that I see is that the part that is crises in this full moon may be that you feel alone, that you feel left out, or you may kind of feel like there is love that is missing within your life. But I want you to know that you're never truly alone. There are people in your life who love you, and sometimes we tend to look at what is not there. Sometimes we tend to get in our feels and we completely forget about those people, which is obviously not good. So I want you to focus on the people who are already in your life. And in the Stag Spirit, I want you to take the lead. I see that this is a great time for you to take the lead of your life and where you're going. If you sort of lost track of your power, if you've lost track of who you truly are, know that this full moon is channeling the stag energy for you to finally take the reins back into your possession. Finally, make sure that you get out there and you just embrace who you are. And in the Cat Spirit, I see that your independence is something that is at the core here. The cat is a very independent animal. It is an animal that doesn't need anybody to survive. I mean, yes, it likes being around us human beings, but at the end of the day, a cat can survive. A cat can thrive on its own, and that is one thing that I want you to take with you. That is one lesson that I want you to really focus on the 13th. I want you to focus on the fact that you don't need anybody, and that is why the Otter Spirit has showed up. Maybe you've sort of been a little bit codependent. Maybe you sort of felt like you rely on somebody a lot more than you should, or a lot more than you would like to. This can be somebody, this can also be something. Maybe you rely on comfort from food, or you rely on comfort from other substances. Whatever it is that you feel like you've been relying on to get you through the day, I want you to know that you don't need it. You are an independent soul, an independent person, and you can do whatever it is that you want to do all by yourself. Then in the Wasp Spirit, there may be a situation where you feel stung. And this may have to do with your independence. This may have to do with the fact that you're feeling alone. So you may realize that maybe somebody was not a real friend. Maybe somebody was a faux friend, in fact. And this is a realization that you're coming to during this full moon, and it stings, it hurts. It's not a good, fulfilling feeling. But I want you to know that you're going to get over it. It's not really a big deal, as during this full moon, the focus is truly going to be on your personal rebirth. The focus is going to be on the fact that now you're focusing on your dreams. You're focusing on reinventing yourself and creating a new reality. So I feel like the reality that you've had has been good, but maybe a little bit dull. Maybe it's sort of been not as passionate, not as driven as you want it to be. And that is one thing that I see in the rebirth. I see a light at the end of the tunnel. I see passion. I see stars, which stands for hope. I see all of these colors that show a lot of action, a lot of cool things happening for you. Then in balance, I want you to keep in mind that you also have to take time to relax. So if you've been working like crazy, or you've been indulging in a lot of things that you shouldn't be indulging in, take it a notch down. Okay. Balance is something that goes both ways. If you're just constantly taking care of yourself and pampering yourself, then you won't get anything done. But if you're constantly getting things done, and then you will miss that feeling of taking care of yourself, of truly showing your body, your soul that you respect it and cherish it. So allow yourself to set boundaries on both ends. If you've been sort of overindulging in, like I said, food, alcohol, any other types of substances, maybe you've been binge watching a show instead of studying, just saying, now is the time to stop that, to get the balance back into your life. And if you feel like you've been working super hard, studying super hard, take time for that bubble bath. Take time to read that book that you started and never finished. So last but not least, we have the light. I want you to enjoy life, okay? This full moon is a time where you can truly enjoy and take in everything that happens if you allow yourself to. So take pleasure in the little things. That is how you will find value. I see that you have to now start expecting the best. Don't be afraid of this full moon. Yes, there is a potential for personal as well as relationship crises, but at the same time, when you focus on that, then that is what will come to you. I want you to stay safe in your emotions, obviously. I want you to not bring yourself to a point where you may get into an argument. Therefore, the best thing that you can do for yourself during this full moon, my beautiful Pisces, is to focus on only expecting the best. Focus on only expecting positive outcomes. That is what will allow you to channel positive energy into your life and for you to truly enjoy this time instead of being worried about it. I hope you enjoyed this reading, all my beautiful Pisces sisters and brothers. If you did, make sure that you leave a comment down below, as well as give this video a thumbs up. And if this is the first time that you're on my channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Okay, so next up we have the Aries. Hello, my beautiful Aries brothers, sisters, unicorns. Let's get straight into your reading. So first off, we have the pig spirit for you. So what I see during this full moon within the pig spirit is the fact that you have to think before you act. You have to use your mind in a very wise way. Keep in mind that this full moon is also called the hunter's moon or blood moon. It's basically the moon where you prepare yourself for winter. That is why it's called the hunter's moon, because you start hunting, you start stocking up for the winter to come. And that is one thing that I feel like you need to do. You need to start to prepare yourself for the next upcoming months. Maybe winter is a super crazy time. Maybe you go on vacation, or Christmas is really crazy, Thanksgiving, whatever it is that is coming up, make sure that you're prepared. So stock up on, say, food, stock up on your finances, make sure that you spend less, make sure that you're prepared for the upcoming time. Then in the beaver spirit, I see that what you have to do is lay that solid foundation. So we literally just spoke about this, my dear Aries. We just spoke about you preparing yourself and laying that foundation so that you're not stressed out within the next month. So I see that this full moon is truly going to channel this sort of energy within you where you're like, okay, I gotta buckle up, I gotta get things done, and I have to lay that foundation for the rest of the year or the beginning of the next year. So keep in mind that that is very important for you. Then we have the dove spirit. So I want you to be very much at peace with your situation. I want you to be at peace with where you are right now. So while you do need to spend time laying this foundation, I don't want you to feel stressed out about it. I don't want you to feel like this is a negative thing. I want you to keep in mind that just allowing your spontaneous energy that you naturally have as a sign to prevail is the best possible way to deal with the situation. So while you may be confronted with harsh truths, with reality, with just things that are not fun, still make it fun for yourself. You get what I'm saying? Then we have the elephant spirit. So in the elephant spirit, I want you to learn from the past. So maybe in the past years, you really struggled with winter time, with taking care of yourself, of your finances, of your family, etc. And that may be something that just kind of made you feel like, oh, you know, I really need to start preparing now. I really need to start putting money aside, or getting ready to make time for more family events. So learn from those experiences and allow yourself to also learn from any sort of situations of emotional conflict in the past, because there is sort of like a chance that that may happen during this full moon. There is a chance that emotions may take over, and those may be very challenging emotions. It may be some sort of destructive or impulsive kind of behavior, but you need to make sure that you remain in control by just learning from patterns from the past. Then we have freedom. I want you to know that you as a sign, you're dynamic. You're somebody who can just get things done, who is spontaneous, but you have to make sure that you keep that freedom in your power. Don't lose that streak about you. I see that this full moon is going to be challenging for you. It's going to be a full moon where you may be left with a lot of questions. You may feel a little misunderstood. And I want you to know that you can choose to be free. You can choose to be independent and to allow yourself to just enjoy the moment, to not worry too much, to just let that spontaneous streak in yourself prevail. Then in possibility, there is a lot of chances here for you to get things done that you maybe have had on your list for a long time, for weeks, for months, but you haven't gotten to. So allow that to happen and allow your expectations for the time after this full moon to be higher than they were before. I feel like maybe your expectations for yourself have been a little low, have been a little too easy on yourself when it comes to your expectations, but now is the time for you to change that. Now is the time for you to expect the most out of yourself, especially when we're going towards the end of the year. Make yourself proud. And in prosperity, I see that, you know, your income is something that is increasing. Your income is going to have a sudden jolt. Maybe you're going to find money in the pocket of your jeans, maybe in one of your bags. Maybe you're just going to find money on the street, but you're definitely attracting prosperity like a magnet. You're attracting money. You're attracting a better financial situation. So allow yourself to be at peace knowing this, all while keeping in mind that past mistakes can now be corrected and you can now move forward on a fresh slate with a fresh start during this full moon in October of 2019. I hope that you enjoyed this reading and found it insightful. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, do not forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in my next reading. Okay, so next up we have the Leo. So hello to all my beautiful Leos. Let's move straight into your reading about the full moon on the 13th of October. So in the Crow Spirit, I see that it is time for you to co-create. It is time for you to follow all those little signs, all those little jabs that your intuition is giving you, and to just act on them. I see that you have to co-create with your spirits, and if you're like me and you believe in some sort of higher being or power and something going on out there, then allow yourself to be immersed in its energy. That is one thing that I see as beneficial for you during this full moon. And in the Frog Spirit, it is time to declutter, okay? All that stuff that you have lying around that you've been wanting to give to a charity, to throw out, to finally sort through, it is now the time for you to do it. Know that the frog is a very delicate kind of amphibia. It is an amphibia that does not do well in an environment that doesn't suit it. And that is one thing that I feel for you, my dear Leos. I feel like your environment may not completely suit you anymore. There may be something off, and in order for you to recreate balance and to get to a point where you feel comfortable and you can be productive, you have to declutter and get some things out of your life that are just taking up unnecessary space and making your environment basically not how it's supposed to be for you to function at an optimum pace. Then in the Koala Spirit, I want you to know in correlation to the Crow Spirit that your spirit guides, whatever spirit it is that you believe in, it has your back. There is nothing for you to be worried about. There is nothing for you to stress out over. Things are going to work out. And sometimes that is all you need to hear to get that extra boost of confidence. Then we have the Wombat Spirit. So I want you to take time at home. As I said, decluttering is something that is super important. And in correlation to the Wombat Spirit, I just feel like this just reinforces the fact that your home life is what you need to work on. The 13th, it's going to be a Sunday. Don't make excuses, okay? Get off your butt. Don't procrastinate. Clean up, tidy up. Make sure that you declutter the areas where you know decluttering is necessary. And in support, I want you to be unafraid to ask for help. If you feel like you need help reorganizing, if you feel like you need help in order to get anywhere with this decluttering process, ask a good friend, ask a family member, ask somebody to join you. And this way you can also sort of rest in a more peaceful, reassured manner. So if you're stressing out about how you're going to get everything done, as I said, ask for help, and this will allow you to not only sleep well, you know, the nights before the 13th, but also the nights after and during the 13th, because you'll know everything is fine. You can ask for help if you need it, and you are supported. Then in receive, I want you to be open to receiving this support that you may want to ask for. So allow yourself to receive goodness, allow yourself to know that you're worthy of abundance, as well as worthy of help from others. It doesn't mean that you're a burden if you ask for help. It doesn't mean that anything is wrong with you. I want you to know that sometimes gifts are something that we naturally receive. Gifts are a part of life, and I want you to gracefully accept the gifts that you are given, both by the universe as well as other people. So last but not least, in magic, I want you to make a wish. I want you to believe that miracles can happen. I want you to believe in the good out there, and just co-create with your spirits. We have a very strong part here of your reading that is connected to your spirit guides, connected to the spiritual realms of your life, and everything that is mystical, everything that is an unknown and unseen force, but you can feel it. Allow yourself to rely on that feeling. Don't doubt it. Use it to co-create, use it to make plans, and use it to feel supported and guided within this time of your life. So all my dear little Leos, I hope that you enjoyed this reading, and I hope that you found it insightful. If you did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and if this is the first time that you're on my channel, make sure to subscribe for more readings, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Okay, so we have the Aquarius. So hello, all my beautiful Aquarius ladies, men, and unicorns. Let's move into your reading about your full moon. First and foremost, we have the Bobcat Spirit. I want you to know that some things are going to have to be left unexplained. Life is a mystery, and sometimes it can be hard to truly deal with that. It can be hard to accept that, especially if you're somebody who likes science, who likes knowing exactly what's up, and who likes explanations. But I want you to just give it a rest, especially on the 13th and the 2 weeks after the 13th. Allow your mind to rest assured that sometimes things are unexplained. Sometimes you just cannot reason with the universe, and that is okay. In the Hawk Spirit, I want you to allow your spirit to be your guide. it can be really hard to allow yourself to just trust in this power, in this higher force, in your intuition. But it is very clear that you tune into this reading for a reason, and you may just need to have that reassurance that your spirit can guide you and your spirit sees further than you do. When a situation in your life arises and it is difficult, it is challenging, but at the end it was for the better. You went through this difficult, really hard time just to figure out who you truly are, just to figure out that you're a lot stronger than you ever expected. And that is one thing that I see coming for you. And then in the Canary spirit, I want you to just do your own thing, okay? On this Sunday, don't hang out with anybody you don't want to hang out with. Don't do anything you don't want to do. Allow yourself to just do whatever pleases you. That is one thing that I feel like you haven't done in a long time. You've sort of been trying to please other people. You've been trying to do what maybe society even expects you to do, but it's now time for you to just sing your own song. That is what the Canary spirit is all about. Being yourself and being comfortable in your own skin, even if somebody else does not like that. And in the Bee spirit, I want you to know that sweet results do await. You just have to sometimes give it a little bit of time to manifest into reality. So if you've been putting in a lot of work, a lot of late nights, a lot of long hours into a project, your school, your work, allow yourself to know that sweet results are coming, but it may not be on the 13th. It may be a week later, it may be 2 weeks later, but I definitely see that during this full moon, there will be a time where you feel like, wow, I'm truly being appreciated for the work I've done. I'm finally getting to reap some of the benefits for all of the time and effort that I've been putting into this. So allow that to just take its time. It may not happen on the 13th, as I said, but it is bound to happen sometime soon. Then in Passion, I want you to follow what excites you if you haven't been following that path already. So know that you can get fired up about life if you allow yourself to. Know that you can increase your energy levels. Energy is something that you do. Energy is not something that just is. You can create more energy. You can also lose energy, but I want you to keep in mind that creating energy has a lot to do with figuring out how your body functions at its optimal rate. So figure out, what foods make you feel the most nurtured. Figure out how much sleep makes you feel well rested, and what makes you feel alive and like you're ready to do whatever you're passionate about, and what makes you feel kind of dead inside, if you will. Then in Trust, I want you to take a leap into the unknown. There will be a situation during this full moon that is an unknown that will require for you to leap, and you may feel really uncomfortable doing that. You may feel like you don't have faith in it. You're afraid that there's just going to be sort of like rocks at the bottom of this cliff that you're jumping off. But I want you to know that your spirits would not guide you into a situation like that. I want you to know that you're protected. The karma that you have from putting out good vibes, good actions is going to come back to you. So allow yourself to be caught by a cloud, caught by a bed of feathers, so to say. Don't be afraid to leap. Then last but not least, we have action. So it is the perfect time during this full moon for you to finally take action. It's the perfect time for you to leap forward towards your dreams and do it in a very confident way. One thing that I feel with you is that you do exude confidence to people on the outside, but I feel like on the inside you may sometimes be really doubtful. You may sometimes be very fearful of what will happen if you leap forward, but you have to let go of that. I see that leaping forward is going to come with great benefits, so keep in mind that the only thing that is going to come from you staying in your comfort zone is just that, your comfort zone. But anything outside of your comfort zone that you would like to achieve, you will have to leap towards it. You will have to get out of that comfort zone, and you will have to battle fears to get there, but you can do it. And that is one thing that I want you to truly internalize during this full moon. So all my dear Aquarius spirits, I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope that you found it insightful as well as helpful. And if you're new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe to see upcoming videos. And I will see you in my next reading. Hello all my dear Libras, and welcome to your reading. So one thing that I see within you naturally is a very diplomatic streak, is a streak that seeks out balance and wants everything to sort of be in line with positivity and goodness. But let's move into your reading to figure out what's happening during your full moon. So in the mouse spirit, one thing that I see is that you have to tend to the little details. I feel like maybe there are details that you sort of have not been paying attention to that would be essential for your growth in your personal life, your love life, as well as your career. So focus on those little details and do not take them for granted. Then in the cow spirit, I want you to know that the miracles that can come from paying attention to details at this point in time are endless. Allow yourself to be immersed in this feeling of being abundant, in this feeling of being strong, and kind of like this creation that is super magical. Allow yourself to know, just like in the cow spirit, that you're somebody who people see as beautiful, that you're somebody who people see as valuable. So value is one thing that I definitely also want you to focus on. And in the turkey spirit, I want you to focus during the full moon on being gracious, on giving with gratitude. I want you to know what is worth a fight and what is not worth it. So there may be sort of crises in your relationship or crises with you personally. You may feel kind of like annoyed with yourself. You may feel sad about something. You may feel disappointed with yourself, but allow yourself to figure out what is worth mulling over, crying and fighting over, and what you just need to sort of let go. And in the squirrel spirit, I want you to believe in yourself. I want you to know that anything that you want to achieve can be done, but you have to pay attention to details at this point. You have to pay attention to the little things. If you just sort of skim over them, you're never going to be able to achieve what it is that you would like to achieve. So keep that balance where you're paying attention to the big picture as well as the little picture, because sometimes the little picture is more important than we ever expected. Then in flow, I want you to find an easier path forwards. I feel like right now you're on a path of a lot of resistance. Maybe you're on a lot of resistance with yourself, with somebody close to you, where you're not allowing any emotional feelings in. And I want you to just surrender to whatever is happening. This full moon may leave you feeling a little bit confused, maybe a little bit at a point where you feel defensive, but I want you to open up. I want you to let go of your ego, let go of any feeling of maybe being attacked, of any feeling of expecting something out of somebody that you know you probably shouldn't expect, because expectations can lead to disappointments. And in the sanctuary, I want you to take time away from the world. I want you to take time during this full moon just to be by yourself. Spend time alone. Make sure that you meditate, that you retreat, that you recharge, and that you give yourself time to really think through what it is that you feel like you need to pay attention to and what it is that you can do to believe in yourself a whole lot more. One thing that I love to do is, for instance, journaling. Try different journaling exercises. They're super helpful in finding more confidence and getting to the root of any issues that you may be having internally. Last but not least, in the goddess, I want you to honor your inner and divine feminine energy. It is so essential for you to know that you're beautiful, that you're of value. That is something that we already spoke about in the cow spirit. I want you to see your inner beauty and to love every single part of you, even those things that you thought you didn't. For instance, I never really liked my feet, but now I look at them and I'm like, wow, you carry me around every day. Without you, I couldn't walk by myself. Without you, I couldn't do a lot of the things that I love doing. So look at each body part for what its function is and what value it brings to your life. Don't look at it as something that needs to be aesthetically pleasing. Look at the value that it brings to your life that outer beauty or some unrealistic standards set by society could never bring to you. So all my dear Libras, I hope that you enjoyed this reading and that you found it insightful. If you did, give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, do not forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next reading. Okay, hello all of my beautiful Sagittariuses. One thing that I see is a lot of powerful energy for you, but let us move into your reading to figure out what is going on during this full moon. So in the spider spirit, I see that one thing that you have to do is continue spinning your web. I feel like maybe you've given up on your web of dreams, but you need to be diligent. You need to make sure that you continue being consistent. So by that, I mean, look at a spider. It has so much work to do to spin its web in order to catch insects to nurture itself, and that is its life purpose. Note it with your life purpose, you may have to spin a really big web as well before you can start catching your insects, if you know what I mean. So give time for that. Know that oftentimes you have to put in a lot of work first in order to achieve greatness. But in the rabbit spirit, I see that during this full moon, it is a lucky time for you to attract abundance into your life, even if your web has not fully been spun yet. And I know, a really weird analogy, but I feel like you guys always understand what I'm saying. So allow this lucky time to prevail. Allow any sort of lucky streak to be you saying to yourself, wow, I'm such a lucky person, I'm so blessed, and I'm grateful for it. And do not focus on anything less than luck. Then in the swan spirit, it is time for a deep dive. It is time for you to truly look at why you are the way you are. It's time for you to really figure out emotionally what you're lacking, what you're good at, what you feel like you could improve in. You know, a deep dive is necessary every now and then. A deep dive is always beneficial. Use this time during the full moon to learn more about yourself and to learn more about who you are at the core of your being. Then in the moth spirit, I want you to surrender now. Surrender to positivity. Sometimes we almost like repel positivity. And I know that this sounds really weird, but sometimes good things happen and we're just like, oh, well, you know, just like a little good thing, but I'm actually cursed with so much unlucky stuff happening in my life. You know, sometimes we focus on the things that aren't great, but I want you to surrender to the light. I want you to celebrate every little accomplishment, every little step along the way. And during this full moon, especially, just allow yourself to surrender to anything good that happens, and anything that isn't so good, look at it from a distance. Look at it in a very objective way. Know that life isn't all amazing. Life has its ups and downs. And if you distance yourself from anything that doesn't go as expected or the way you wanted it to go, then you can truly allow yourself to be shielded from any negativity. So in polarity, I want you to integrate your shadow side into your life. And that is one thing that I feel like maybe you've been pushing aside. Maybe you've been putting it off, truly confessing to yourself that, hey, this or that isn't that great about me, but it's a part of me. And that is one thing that I see with the deep dive in correlation to polarity. I want you to keep in mind that there can't be light without dark. And you have to understand that polarity is something beautiful. You have to understand that you can't be really good at something without maybe being mediocre or not very good at other things. That is a very valuable philosophy to internalize, and I want you to make use of it. I want you to be somebody who has that belief within them. In expansion, I want you to allow yourself to go further. I want you to allow yourself to show the world what you're made of, to not be sort of afraid of what others may think, especially if you're doing something that is not normal. For instance, being on YouTube is scary. It's scary putting yourself out there, uploading videos. The same goes for Instagram. So if that is something that you want to take a part of, or maybe blogging, I want you to allow yourself to know that it is only scary at the beginning. Once you get used to this new form of just putting things out there, other things are going to become scary. But basically the rule of thumb is there is always something scary going on in life. There is always something that makes you feel fearful, that makes you feel anxious, and that makes you feel like you don't want to do it. So there's no way around that, my dear Sagittariuses. Allow yourself to overcome those obstacles. Don't procrastinate them, because the more you wait, the more you allow yourself to stay in a little bubble, the longer it'll take for you to achieve all the things you've always wanted to achieve. And you should live each and every day knowing that each and every day is valuable, and we don't know how long we're going to be here, how long our loved ones are going to be around, and we should make ourselves proud. We should live a life that we, as well as our loved ones, can feel proud of. And in cycles, I want you to know that everything is going to happen at the right time. So if, for instance, you feel like your love life is off during this full moon, then maybe it's just meant to be off for the time being. Maybe it is teaching you a lesson that love is something that you can't force, and everything happens when it is supposed to happen. So tune into the fact that the moon controls a lot of what is going on around you. Tune into what is going on in your own body instead of worrying what is going on in somebody else's world or what is going on around you. I see that truly being within your body, feeling all the feels that are going through you, that are flowing through you, that is what would be truly beneficial for you during this full moon, and what I would recommend for you to be focusing on. So I hope that you enjoyed this reading and that you found it insightful. If you did, let me know down in the comment section, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello, my dear Capricorns, and welcome to your reading. So let's move straight into it to figure out what's going on during the full moon for you. So we have the lizard spirit. One thing that I see is that you have to subconsciously make sure that you're properly programmed. And what I mean by that is make sure that your subconscious is properly programmed. I could have just said that right from the start. So what I'm trying to communicate to you is the fact that your subconscious rules a lot of your waking life. It rules a lot of your everyday processes, your everyday thoughts, the things that you do and how you do them. So master what is going on within your mind. That is one thing that the full moon urges you to do. It urges you to truly learn about what is going on behind the scenes within you and to use that knowledge to your advantage instead of allowing your emotions to take over. But in the deer spirit, I also want you to make sure that you keep a gentle approach. So do not be hard on yourself for anything that you feel like you're not good at, or for anything that you may still struggle at. So for instance, if you've tried meditation and you feel like it's really hard for you to be here in the now, but you've literally done it for 5 minutes, don't be hard on yourself for not being perfect at something so quickly. Know that in order to truly master a skill, you have to put in at least like 10,000 hours of work, 10,000 hours of doing that specific skill. So if you have not done something for a long time, if you have not invested a lot of time into it, do not expect miracles. And I know that it's something so obvious, but a lot of us tend to forget that. A lot of us tend to only see when we're not doing well, instead of keeping in mind that, hey, I'm not used to this. This is maybe something new for me, so I'm gonna cut myself some slack. And that is the kind of energy that I want you to have. Then in the flamingo spirit, I want you to embrace everything that is weird, everything that is sort of like an in-between situation. So it is very clear that during this full moon for you, Capricorns, it can be weird because you may tend to be sometimes a little bit materialistic. You're somebody who's hardworking. You're somebody who is very cautious, but at the same time ambitious. And I want you to know that maybe your emotions are taking over during this full moon, and it's weird for you. It's something that you're not used to. So embrace this feeling of just weirdness. Embrace this feeling of not knowing what is going on in your body, because it can teach you a lot about yourself and your personal needs, as well as it can kind of shine a light on a side of you that you may have not encountered before. Then in the bat spirit, I want you to know that a rebirth is something that is definitely happening for you. So this full moon is going to trigger a complete change. There is going to be change on a cellular level for you, change that you haven't experienced in a long time. And I see that it will bring you awareness. So awareness of yourself, your surroundings, your body, as well as your emotions. And it will allow you to live in the moment a lot more. One thing that I see is that being more conscious of your thoughts is what this full moon will bring. That is the opportunity that this full moon will bring. And you have to look out for signs of guidance though. There are going to be little tidbits of signs that tell you like, hey, look out for this, look out for that. Allow yourself to indulge more in one area of life rather than another. And I want you to listen to those signs that are going to be coming up within this time of the full moon. Then in celebration, I want you to know that there is a positive outcome for something that you may have been worried about. So if you've been worried about an outcome at your work, at school, one of the projects that you've done, or in love, allow yourself to know that the positive outcome is on its way, but you have to celebrate it. I see that celebration is maybe not your strong point, especially when it comes to yourself. I feel like truly enjoying your achievements and giving them the time of the day that they deserve may be really hard for you, because you don't want to be the center of attention, or you don't want to be the one who's kind of seeking attention, who's kind of putting themselves out there saying like, hey, look how great I am. I see that that is mostly not you. That is not something that you like to do, but you have to sometimes do that, okay? You have to sometimes allow yourself to be the center of attention and learn how to enjoy getting attention. Learn how to enjoy being the person celebrating their own success if they have to, because if you do not celebrate your success, there may not always be somebody else who will. And I don't want you to allow any of your success to go by without it having been celebrated. Then last but not least, in the healer, I see that you have really amazing gifts where you can heal people and situations. And I want you to properly have faith in those abilities. I want you to share everything that you have as a healer with the people around you. So if you're a very good listener or somebody who can give a really amazing advice, then allow other people to benefit from it and be confident in those abilities. Because when you're not confident in those abilities, then that is when you are a little scared to share them, and when you just keep them bottled up within you, even though the world could make so much use of your abilities, your healing abilities that you have. So all of my dear Capricorns, I hope that you enjoyed your reading, and I hope that you found it insightful. If you did, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe to see future readings, and I will see you in my next video. Hello, all my beautiful Virgos. Welcome to your reading. So let's get right into it. One thing that I see in the Badger spirit is the fact that you have to be fearless and bold. With the Badger spirit comes the number 4. So that is a very grounded number. It is a number where there is balance. So know that balance already exists in your life, and you can now try and be a little bit different. Try and be a little bit out of the box. Be fearless. Go after what you want to go after, and allow yourself to also be bold. Know that audacity is something that you sometimes need to have. You sometimes need to have the audacity to ask for what you want. Go after what you want to go after. Those are all important things, and be open to this infinite possibility. A lot of times we sort of close ourselves off to possibility. We, in our heads, already sort of shrink the amount of possibilities, the number of possibilities that we have in our life. And I see that you're somebody who's very humble. You know, Virgos, you guys are humble, you're hardworking, dutiful, and you will do things over and over again until you have them done perfectly. But in the Starfish, I want you to keep in mind that sometimes you just got to put work out there. You just got to see what kind of possibility can come your way if you already get yourself out of that safe space. Then in the Skunk spirit, you have to know your worth. I feel like maybe somebody may have made you feel recently like you're not worthy. This could be somebody that you don't even know, somebody that just gave you a really dirty look or said something to you on the street. This could also be somebody very close to you who has not been making you feel good about yourself. So first off, I want you to be careful with that relationship. I want you to be very careful with toxic relationships, with relationships that make you feel like your life is limited or like you are limited. That is a dangerous space to be in, because you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And if one of those 5 people is very toxic and puts self-limiting thoughts in your head, then that is, you know, one of your big averages within your life, which we don't want for you. And in the Porcupine spirit, I see that you have to reset your mind, okay? It's time for a beginner mind. It's time for you to start with a fresh slate. So if you feel like you have not 100% known your worth these past weeks, months, maybe even years, you have to reset, and this full moon gives you the opportunity to reset. This full moon is a chance for you to start on a fresh slate, to let go of things and really be done with them. That is one thing that this full moon brings, that energy of like being over it. Then in Courage, I want you to know that you're safe to do that. Sometimes it can feel icky to love ourselves. Sometimes it can feel icky to tell ourselves, you know what, I'm worthy, I'm beautiful, and that's just how it is. I'm not gonna let anybody say otherwise. And I know that it's weird to say that it is a bad feeling sometimes, but sometimes it just feels bad. And that is how society has made this world. Society has made it a cocky thing to love yourself. But keep in mind that at the root of what we truly need to do as human beings, it is be happy with ourselves and our lives, and to love ourselves. Only like that can we love other people. So allow yourself to be open about you loving yourself, and if that rubs somebody the wrong way, that is a them problem. Maybe they don't love themselves, and that is a reflection of how they feel when they're telling you, oh, you're too into yourself, or anything like that. Then I want you to know that fear is an illusion. I want you to set boundaries between you and people who only put fears in your head. And there are people like that, and I see anger. okay? I see this full moon may result in a burst, an outburst. You may all of a sudden tell somebody, hey, you know what? Like, you always instill fear in me. You never fully support me, and I'm done with it, okay? I'm done. I'm angry. I don't want this in my life anymore, and I want you to use your anger in a more positive way. So don't allow that outburst to happen. I know it's very tempting, but it is not going to be beneficial to you, or at least not as beneficial as if you would use your anger and all the energy that you have in there and put it into a creative project. So if you love drawing or writing, write something ugly, write something that reflects those emotions, that just shows all of the energy and enthusiasm that you had to let somebody know, like, no, stop it, or to just let yourself know, no, you're worthy. Stop like dumbing yourself down. Stop making yourself feel like you're not worthy. That is how I want you to tackle this full moon. Then last but not least, in intuition, I want you to follow your intuition. I want you to know that your divination tools can help you to decide. Trust your intuition no matter what. That is exactly what I want you to do. I want you to trust any feeling that you have. If something feels off, it's off. We don't need to go to the end of the road to figure out what's there if we already felt that it was off way at the beginning of the road. So do not exert your energy during this full moon, as well as the 2 weeks afterwards, on things that already feel like they're not right. Know that if they're not right for you, and you can move on to other things that do feel right. So all of my beautiful Virgos, I hope that you enjoyed this reading and that you found it insightful. If you did, make sure that you let me know down in the comment section. And if you're new to my channel, subscribe for more videos. And I will see you in my next reading. Okay, hello all of my beautiful Scorpios, and welcome to your reading. So let's figure out what's going on for you during this full moon. So first and foremost, we have the white raven spirit. One thing that I see is that there are things happening that are going to be like unexplainable, and you just have to trust in the magic. You have to trust that magic is something that exists. Sometimes there are unexplainable things that happen, unexplainable gifts that come into our life, unexplainable fortune, and you just need to be cool with it and just let it happen, okay? Just enjoy it, geez. Then in the vulture spirit, I want you to know that none of your efforts are wasted. I want you to know that if you put effort into something, even if somebody does not show you that they are grateful for it, know that that is good karma for you. Know that that is good vibes that you are channeling back into your life. And there's nothing to be embarrassed about when it comes to that. There's nothing to be made to feel uncomfortable. You are a good human being for doing good things, and that is the beginning and the end of the story, my dear Scorpio. Then in the cat spirit, I want you to reclaim your independence. I feel like, you know, in these Scorpios can tend to sometimes be maybe a little jealous or possessive, or just sort of have that feeling like, if something that I've worked for is in my life, then that is mine, and it is not for anybody else to take away, and it's not for anybody else to make me feel like I don't deserve it. And that is one thing that I do want you to stick to. I want you to stick to knowing that you deserve everything that is in your life and so much more, but you have to work for it, and sometimes you have to fight for it. But sometimes you also need to let go of any possessive streak. Sometimes you need to know when something that is in your life is here to be shared, when something that is in your life is not basically for you to control, because we don't control other people, especially when they do hurtful things, especially when other people impact our lives in good and in bad ways. At the end of the day, we don't control them. We can tell them what we like, what we don't like, but whether they actually follow through on it, we don't know, and we can't control it. It is completely up to the other person, and that is something that I feel like the full moon will be testing you with. The full moon may be challenging you with that. Then in the stag spirit, I see that it is time for you to take the lead. It's time for you to allow yourself to take the lead of the fact that you're just going to continue doing good no matter what comes back to you. So sometimes, as I said, life is testing us. Sometimes life is giving us some rotten tomatoes just to see what we're gonna do with it, but you're gonna be like, it's cool, I'll just wait for the good tomatoes, if you know what I mean, and just allow yourself to be calm. But let's move further into your reading. So in friendship, one thing that I see is that you have to take the lead on your friendships. I feel like you have to surround yourself very, very deliberately during this full moon with positive people. I feel like they're the ones who are going to fuel you up to reclaim your independence and to also trust in the magic. They're going to tell you, you know what, if something good happens, just celebrate it. Don't sort of stress it, don't overthink it. it. Then in discernment, I want you to know that you have to just stay true to that inner feeling. If somebody or something feels off, then allow yourself to know that it is off. There's no reason for you to question it. There's no reason for you to see what is at the end of the tunnel, because that is a waste of your time. During this full moon, your intuition is at an all-time high, and it is the perfect time for you to just believe it. If your intuition is telling you something, or if somebody shows you their true colors, believe them the first time. You know how when you meet people, you think to yourselves, wow, are they really this person? Did they really just say or do that? And you sort of give them another chance and you're like, oh, surely they're not that kind of person, but they are. And you think to yourself in the end, when they showed me their true colors the first time, I should have believed them then. And I don't want you to fall into that trap. I don't want you to walk into that. I want you to know that you are here in this reading for a reason. You're here because that is something that you need to hear. So if you're somebody who kind of likes to give second, third chances just because, you know, you want to be a nice person, know that it is not always worth it depending on what kind of colors you are shown. So last but not least, in imagination, I want you to envision everything that you can create. So in imagination, I want you to create a vision board. I want you to actually physically cut out, print out how you want your life to be, hang it on a vision or a dream board, and look at it. Look at it, manifest it into reality. Allow yourself to surround yourself with that vibe. Give yourself the permission not only to dream, but also to achieve. And believe that those things are things that you actually can achieve. Sometimes we make dream or vision boards and we say those are just that, dreams, but know that dreams can come true. Know that dreams are places that you can actually reach, that you can actually conquer, where you can achieve. So do not allow yourself to feel like your dreams are just dreams. Know that dreams are here for a reason. They're here for us to allow our imagination to take us to places where we want to go and to give us the motivation to go there. So use your dreams as motivation instead of just, you know, an imaginary playground. Allow that motivation to truly draw you towards what it is that you want to accomplish. So all my gorgeous Scorpios, I hope that you enjoyed this reading. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, do not forget to subscribe, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello, all my beautiful Tauruses, and welcome to your reading. So let's get straight into it. First and foremost, we have the dog spirit. So one thing that I see first off that is so essential for you during this full moon is to be clear with what it is that you love, what it is that you want to continue doing in your life, what it is that you love having in your life. So allow that to be sort of the driving force. Allow yourself to leave all negativity behind while believing in what you love and allowing that to guide you into your future. Then in the butterfly spirit, I want you to know that this is a time where things may shift, where maybe all of a sudden you feel like, okay, the things that you used to love a month, a year ago aren't really the things that you love anymore. Or maybe you found a new love. Maybe you found something that you're a lot more into than you ever imagined, or it may be something that you didn't even know of before, but all of a sudden you're like, wow, this is something I really want to do. So allow that transformation to happen and know that it doesn't mean the end of something else. It doesn't mean that you have to forget about, for instance, drawing just because you found that singing is more your thing. You can still draw, but the fact that you love singing more doesn't discredit drawing. It just means that, wow, this is something you're really passionate about, and this is something that you should be loyal to, because passion, ambition, drive within something that you love, that is the recipe for success. So in the fox spirit, you have to be very quick. I see that this full moon may be challenging with your emotions. It may be challenging where somebody is maybe testing you, a situation is testing you, and you need to think to yourself, okay, how am I going to react? Am I going to react impulsively? Am I going to react in an obnoxious and dramatic way? Or am I going to keep my cool? And I want you to keep your cool. So as a Taurus, you're mostly very grounded, you're dependable, but at the same time, you can be stubborn, okay? You can be very stubborn. So instead of being stubborn, think on your feet and tell yourself, I'm not gonna be stubborn right now. I'm just gonna let things happen and I'm gonna play it cool. And that is your recipe for success. Then in the lion spirit, I want you to be generous. I want you to be giving with your love, with your time, with your affection. The full moon is happening on a Sunday. Spend time with those who you love. Spend time with those who you care about. And allow yourself to be the generous person, inviting people in, making food and drinks for people, being the host, taking care of others. That is one thing that I see for you. Then in growth, I want you to seek out somebody who can help you grow. That is one realization that I feel is going to come to you during this full moon. You're going to think to yourself, maybe I need a little bit more guidance. Maybe I need a little bit more advice. And then you can look to people who are where you're going. You can listen to podcasts, watch YouTube videos of people who inspire you, and also ask people in real life to mentor you, to help you on your journey. And I want you to just take baby steps. I want you to know that you may not find the perfect mentor tomorrow or in a week or a month, but just building new contacts and new sort of foundations in relationships is going to, in the end, allow you to have this sort of web of people that you can ask, that you can rely on whenever it is that you need something, whenever it is that you need advice, and when you want to learn from others. And that is one thing that I see in you that is very, very sort of special. You're somebody who likes to grow through others. You're somebody who likes to learn from others. So make sure that you free your mind of any sort of preconceived notions that you have. Allow yourself to always learn on a fresh page. Allow yourself to be that sponge, that dry sponge that just soaks up everything and just wants more and more knowledge. Then in compassion, I want you to be really gentle with yourself. I want you to be very compassionate with everything that you feel has not gone the way you've wanted it to go. Maybe this year, maybe this month, maybe in this lifetime. You know, it can be nerve-wracking when we think about where we are right now and where we have told ourselves that we want to go. Because if the gap is really big between where we are and where we want to go, that room is scary. That room is like, oh my God, what if I don't make it? But I want you to be gentle with yourself. I want you to know that where you are right now has taken a lot of work, has taken a lot of dedication, and you have to celebrate every step along the way and see the light in yourself as well as in others, because it can be so easy to forget how worthy you are. It can be so easy to forget to see the light in yourself and to forget to see the growth that you have already achieved. And during this full moon, you are at a vulnerable state. You're at a state where any sort of negative self-talk may truly hurt you for a longer amount of time, but I want you to stay positive and to embrace the transformation going on for you. And in abundance, I see that you have to enjoy the bounty of life. This full moon is going to remind you of something that maybe puts you back in a state where you haven't been in a long time. Maybe you lost a loved one or a pet, and you all of a sudden realize just how beautiful it is to have time here, how precious it is to be here in this world, and that your supply of abundance and bounty is unlimited. The fact that you're still here is just such a gift that you just need to keep in mind that, you know, sky is the limit from here. There's so much abundance, blessings around us that we should be opening ourselves up to, as well as opening others up to. So allow the positive light that is you, allow this full moon sort of radiance that shines through you to touch other people. Allow your light to ignite others, because that is one thing that I see as a big strength and as a big opportunity during this full moon for you. So all my gorgeous Tauruses, I hope that you enjoyed your reading and I hope that you found it insightful. If you did, make sure that you let me know down in the comment section. And if you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings.